Kawaki is wrong. You see, I've been thinking about Kawaki's entire philosophy ever since he sealed Naruto in chapter 77, and the more I think about it and the more Kawaki speaks, the less it makes sense. The reason why this is a big problem is because Kawaki appears to be the main antagonist of Boruto's story, at least that's what's depicted in the timeskip preview we saw back in episode 1. So his main motive or drive is of the utmost importance to the success of Boruto's story, because a hero is only as good as his villain, and of course the villain in this context would be the antagonist, which is Kawaki. Now, to understand why his philosophy doesn't make sense, we need to go back to the specific words uttered by Kawaki himself. So moments before sealing Naruto, Kawaki explained that the world they live in is full of crap and that generally good people like him are the ones who die first, so long as gigantic pieces of crap like the Otsutsuki are running amok. Naruto then replied saying that it's the job of the ninja to dispose of such bastards, but Kawaki disagreed and said that ninja are simply those who die earlier. That's the extent of it. He further went on to say that he knows this now after gaining the power of the Otsutsuki. Whether a ninja or not, you have no choice except to be destroyed. So his resolve is to destroy all Otsutsuki, every last one, using their own power against them. Now we need to understand that despite the words being used here, this doesn't reveal anything new about Kawaki and his motives, because Kawaki has always hated the Otsutsuki and has always aimed to get rid of them and the karma as well. The main goal of this conversation isn't to give Kawaki a new purpose, it's more so tailored to justify Kawaki deciding to add Boruto to the list of things he needs to get rid of. They try to do this by first leaning into Kawaki's obsession with protecting Naruto, outright calling it creepy. Now Kawaki's goal of protecting Naruto from Boruto does make perfect sense given the fact that Momoshiki specifically targeted Naruto back in the fight versus Code. And even though Kawaki somewhat moved on from the matter, he always remained cautious of Boruto, especially after seeing Momoshiki standing beside him with a menacing look on his face. So what I'm trying to say is that Kawaki isn't totally out of bounds when it comes to his analysis of the situation. However, when it comes to his stance on the concept of ninja, this is where it all falls apart. Kawaki claims that ninja are simply those who die first. That's the extent of it. He came to this conclusion after gaining the power of the Otsutsuki, which what this really means is that Kawaki is saying that ninja are nothing compared to the Otsutsuki when it comes to power. Everyone will perish against the Otsutsuki. The title of the ninja or shinobi just means you get the honor of dying first. This is Kawaki's theory. This is the philosophy Kawaki uses to justify his current actions and the pain and suffering he will cause in the future, thus his infamous line about the age of shinobi being over. However, there's one major problem with this theory, and that is that it's somewhat false and naive at best. Let's put it into perspective. For one, every Otsutsuki that has ever had the misfortune of ending up in this sector of the universe has been vanquished. Kaguya, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, Urashiki, Ishiki, and even possibly the two missing Otsutsukis. The Otsutsuki always fails against the shinobi united. That's a simple fact. So this notion of the shinobi just being destined to die earlier and that's the extent of it is just objectively false. Now of course some would argue that the shinobi used the power of the Otsutsuki to defeat the Otsutsuki, and to that I say yes. Yes, the shinobi should use the power of the Otsutsuki to beat the Otsutsuki. In fact, this is a part of Kawaki's plan as stated by Kawaki himself. But let's look at Kawaki's statement at a technical level. Technically, Kawaki is indeed correct. If someone in Boruto is going to die to an Otsutsuki, it will likely be a shinobi first, for the simple reason of the shinobi being the army of the world at large. Not everyone in the world of Naruto has the ability to use jutsus. You have regular day-to-day humans who don't possess the power to defend themselves against certain threats, and that's where the shinobi comes in. Similar to our world where we have the police force and the army to protect us from domestic or foreign attacks, the shinobi is there to do the same thing, only to a greater scale. So just like our fallen soldiers on the front lines, there will also be fallen shinobis on the front lines as well. That will never change. And this of course brings us to the Age of Shinobi line uttered by Kawaki, which is frequently justified by Minato stating that perhaps as long as there's a shinobi system in this world, there can be no peace. Now the issue with using this statement to justify Kawaki's philosophy is that Kawaki himself doesn't see the shinobi system as what's causing the problems in the shinobi world. He sees them as being too weak to solve those problems. Whether it be them not having the power to defeat an actual Otsutsuki, which is false, or them not having the will to do what's necessary necessary to protect their loved ones, which of course means getting rid of Boruto. So Kawaki's outlook on the shinobi system is not even remotely the same as Minato's, since the threat to the shinobi world is the Otsutsuki, not the shinobi themselves. This is why I believe his outlook is naive. It's naive to think that shinobi won't perish in the wake of a strong Otsutsuki, as would be the same if they fought against an Otsutsuki level human or cyborg. It doesn't matter who's doing the deed, bad people exist in all forms. There will be loss of life regardless of the opponent's DNA. It's purely based on the strength of the individual and also the nature of that individual. Whether shinobi exists in this world or not, there will always be people in need of protection, and there will always be individuals who rise to the occasion. The existence of shinobi objectively is a net positive on the world, as without them the world would not exist. The world would have succumbed to the might of the Otsutsuki a long time ago. Now yes, there are bad individuals who use their power for the wrong reason, but that will always be the case whether you're in a powered society or a non-powered society. So Kawaki's goal shouldn't be to end the age of shinobi, it should be to build them up, to take on their common enemy, which is the Otsutsuki. Kawaki himself is an outsider. He grew up in an area absent of the shinobi element. He has no knowledge on the shinobi world or its politics, so he can't even argue from that perspective, and neither has Kawaki. The truth is that Kawaki is naive and uninformed. His motivation for becoming the antagonist is that he sees the shinobi as beneath the Otsutsuki, and by extension being beneath him since he has the power of the Otsutsuki. He's nothing more than a baby fascist imposing his will upon the people he deems as powerless to stop him. It's truly sad that we went through all that development with him bonding with Team 7, showing that he hasn't dried up, only for him to revert back to a cold killing machine that would end his brother and his teammates' life with no remorse. Now, as I said earlier, him being cautious of Momoshiki and wanting to do something about Boruto is completely justified, but the way in which he goes about it and the way in which he chooses to justify it is not just naive, but also inaccurate. Now, does this make Kawaki a bad character? Absolutely not. This just means that he's less compelling. The truth is that the best and most memorable villains or antagonists are the ones you low-key agree with, or the ones you are truly able to empathize with on a deeper level. Kawaki is just a selfish, naive child with an obsession and the power to spread his misery. However, who knows? Maybe Kawaki will develop as a character later on in the story. We'll see what happens. All in all, that's really just my thoughts on the situation. I really hoped that they kind of like fleshed it out better, that his justification for doing whatever he does would make sense. I have no problem with Kawaki like getting rid of Sasuke, even getting rid of more characters, but his justification needs to be more concrete. I need like a pain level reasoning where I can understand totally why he's doing what he's doing. You get what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people will disagree with what I'm saying in this video. A lot of people will agree. We'll see what happens, but this is just my opinion based on what has been shown in the story so far. As I said, maybe Kawaki gets better, you know, maybe he gets like S tier plus writing and we'll all agree with what he's doing and the reason why he's doing it, but I haven't seen that as yet, so until then, it really isn't it for me. With that being said, I posted a video on the return of Shibai a few days ago, so you guys can go check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you did in fact miss that video. So until the next one, I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.